G'day mates, Nearly Lost here, welcome back to Asagao Academy. Last time we left off, we had learned a little bit about Shane, or about his past specifically. We also may have an idea for why he is kind of wary of pink hair. Anyway, I need your help. Huh? After Shane finally opened up to me, I realized I wanted to be something more. Shane was carrying around some baggage, while with his ex-girlfriend. That's what we learned about last time. It seemed like he really cared about her. Maybe he still did. I shook my head roughly. No, it was not the time to be thinking about that. The point was, I wanted to take our relationship to the next level. To do that, I need help. I've been thinking again about doing something nice for Shane. Something to make up for all the times I've almost killed him. Exactly 2 times, Hana. 2 times you've almost killed him. I put a hand on her hip. Too late, I realized I raised her hackles. You don't have to make up for anything, Hana. Those are accidents. Accidents. I mean, yeah, but... I'm not going to help you apologize for something that doesn't need apologizing for. I faltered. But I will help you do something nice for Shane because you're a good person. Thanks, but actually, I wanted to ask him on a date.
What?
You what? Her voice veered into the highest pitches, suddenly transforming into a sonar. I was thinking of taking you on a picnic. Picnics are good dates, right? Are you kidding me? Picnics are the cutest thing. I watched this rom-com of Mimi last year. Oh, not Mimi. And the dude accidentally cheated on his wife with this other lady. And he was like, please baby, come on, this picnic with me to right all my wrongs. And she was like, no, how dare he ask me that? And then they broke up. But, I didn't cheat on Shane.
Yeah!
Exactly, so then it'll work out. There is no one in this world that could be angry after a good picnic. Except for that lady in the movie. Yes, alright, Hana. Except for that lady in the movie. That's like one of probably a billion picnics. I feel like there have been a billion picnics in the world. I didn't know you were close with Mimi either. Yeah, well, at one point. That's not important. You think it's a good idea, though? I'm not sure he's the picnic type. I scoffed. Everyone's the picnic type at a picnic. She wrapped an arm around my shoulder, gesturing to the wild horizons in front of us in motorcycles. In reality, it was a blank wall and a motorcycle, but to Mai, it was an endless plain of flowing grains and purple mountains. Pennsylvania, in other words. Pick the sunniest day next week, and nothing can go wrong.
Well...
That's the thing, though. I've never been on a picnic before, and I'm terrified I'll mess up. Just like all the other times. Hana's internal monologue. Seriously. You need to chill. I put a hand to her chin.
Well...
You do have a knack for screwing up. Really? It's so strange. Even so capable in almost every other route. Why is it just this one that you're... Route? What?
Bingo.
Anyways, have no fear. Mai's here to help you. And to break the 4th wall. Some candles, drinks, music for the atmosphere. Wait, really?
No!
No, of course not. I mean, unless you're ready for that kind of picnic. Really all you need is food and a blanket, pretty much. Food? I had to make more crumpets for Shane to choke on? Look, it was the cat. And Mai's fault. And... keep revving your engine, buddy. That's right. There. Oh, right. Grocery stores exist. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and opened up the weather app. Sunny, sunny, sunny for the next 2 weeks. not a speck of rain. It wasn't as warm as it could be, but at least there was no rain.
Yay!
Great! This is going to be really fun. I'm excited now.
Yahoo!
Are you? That's wonderful.
Can you help me pack?
I have to go to practice, or I would, but I'll be back later to help you, alright?
Right.
I waved and sprinted down the hall, and I set off for the dorm, heart soaring. Hope was the thing with feathers, after all. This is why the Jacques route was a thing to exist. Maybe Shane and I finally had a chance to have a good time. A few hours later, I was poring over my list for the picnic, pile of miscellaneous objects in front of me. I had to prioritize economy. We'd be taking the basket across the field, and I didn't want it to be too heavy, but I didn't want to miss anything either. My last few attempts to do something for a nicer Shane backfired horribly. Well, a couple of them weren't that bad, but, I was not going to let this go wrong.
No, it's fine, Jared. I definitely wouldn't mind. Huh?
Jared.
Jared?
Oh,
You seem busy.
Oh, no, don't mind me. I'm just, packing.
Did Jared know anything about me and Shane? Did I tell him, or did he grieve the other guys that you must secretly like each other? Even though I was currently preparing to ask Shane on a date, I didn't necessarily want Jared to know about my feelings. I focused on the blanket, dropping in a bottle of hand sanitizer.
Yeah!
Jared's gonna hang out in here for a bit.
I really don't have to, though. I can find somewhere else to be. Jared stood in the doorway, watching me eagerly. I wasn't sure whether he wanted me to let him in or to try to keep him out.
No, it's fine, really.
Oh, great. Jared shuffled into the room, Mai bouncing in after him.
What's going on, though?
well,
Satch is making an invention for a tournament and it kind of exploded. Oh no. Everyone is fine, he just didn't want me around.
I'm kinda surprised you're not helping him clean up. Seems like something you would do.
Jared tossed his hair, a small grin on his face. Jared's infamous music returns. Oh, I definitely tried. Satch told me my delicate fingers were better put to use serving the longing maidens of this school.
Did he now?
Plus, I don't know where all the gizmos go. He said I'd probably break it if I tried to help. That, I believed.
Stay here as long as you like.
I climbed up to her bed, winking at me as she passed. How on earth did she even angle for this to happen? She wasn't waiting outside his dorm for this, was she? She wasn't. Was she? Jared tiptoed around my pile on the floor and sat in Mai's desk chair.
hey,
So, Hana, you know the fashion show, right? I told you about that, didn't I?
Of course, but if you hadn't, I would never have known. I mean, maybe you should have put up posters or something? Seems like it would have been a good idea.
He laughed. The fight that he and Paul had at the beginning of the year was apparently water under the bridge. I almost didn't remember that it happened. They didn't hold against each other or anything. I knew that was how disagreements were supposed to work, but that didn't mean I wasn't amazed when it actually happened that way. You'll come, won't you? There's no way I'll feel comfortable on stage without my beloved nymph's eyes on me. Beloved nymph? Was he talking about me?
Yeah, of course I'll come.
nice.
Great! You two can go together. Jared beamed from me to Mai, and suddenly I realized he probably wanted me there for more than just my presence. I crawled to the edge of her bed, peeking over the railing at me.
So, what are you doing? Oh, you know, just packing for the picnic.
Ooh, your date? I glanced quickly at Jared, who seemed suddenly very interested in what was happening. Have you asked him yet? I'm sure My, could you double check that I have everything?
What?
Wait, haven't you asked him?
No, I like to be prepared.
I rolled her eyes. Understatement of the year. Is there a list then?
Right here.
Ah. I handed her my list and Maya flipped off the top of her bed, nearly smacking Jared in the face. The regret was palpable. Don't worry, Jared. It's only for a little while. You can pull through.
Perfection.
Looks good to me. She handed the list back to me almost immediately. Did she even bother looking? I was trying to change the subject, but I didn't sincerely want her to check things over. What if she missed something? Man. Well, if she barely checked, I'd want to make sure that they actually checked. And since Hana seems hell-bent on not asking, or not telling Jared about that sort of thing, I don't think asking Jared is a good idea. I also don't think leaving it as it is fine because, well, as Hana did say, she's been prone to mess up, and she's messed up a lot. We're gonna ask her to double check.
Actually, can you check again? Maybe a bit more thoroughly? I really don't want to mess this one up.
First time not good enough? She said it jokingly, but I could tell she was a little irritated. Maya wasn't very good at hiding her true feelings. I darted a glance at Jared.
Well, if you don't want to...
No, of course I'll check again. That was a little fast. I doubled over again, this time taking everything out of the basket and putting it back one by one. Not really in the same place, but who was keeping track?
Bingo.
Everything's there, Hana. You did a good job, so don't worry too much about it. Just think about how you're going to ask him. That's the bigger challenge here.
I'm really glad you're here to help me out. I'm kind of panicking. I've never been on a real date before.
What about the flower festival? Right, the flower festival. I wasn't quite sure that counted, but...
I'll support you.
Well, no worries. We're your friends after all. You can always ask us for help. Jared's cell phone went off, and he grasped at it like the liquor of life. Oh, it's Satch. He says he's all done. Thank you so much for your gracious stay, ladies, but I must be on my way.
But Jared, don't you want to stay?
Jared was already out the door.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Don't worry about me. You have a date to prepare for. Right. If you say so.
I and Jared. It didn't seem like they would ever date, but I hoped that one day they could at least be friends. And that is Chapter 3 ending, and this is Chapter 4 beginning. And Shane is blushing and smiling. Hopefully this is a fortune of things to come. I spent hours packing and repacking the picnic bag, making sure I didn't forget anything, and now it was as pretty as it could be. Now that everything was all set up, it was time to ask Shane. But since that was all I needed to do, I found myself putting it off. I could wait till tomorrow's lunch, after all. I stretched and stood. It was a little early, but I could probably go to bed. My phone started vibrating, and I snatched it up. Having difficulty with page 112 help me. I blinked at my phone. Shane? Asking for help? You know what? Having difficulty with page 112 help me. Okay. That does sound like Shane. I started to type back, but was interrupted by another text. Please? Grinning, I sent my response.
See you in class in 20.
I hopped off my bunk, throwing my books back into my bag. I groaned.
How are you always so energetic?
Look who's talking, Mai.
Are you seriously asking me that question?
Oh, are you going to ask Shane now? Asking Shane? Now would be a perfect time. But suddenly the prospect terrified me.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh, Hana, I wish you the very best. Jumping off her bed, Mai ran to her desk and flung open a drawer. After digging around in it for a while, she turned back to me.
Yeah!
Hi-ya! Small sprinkles of pink filtered through my vision.
Cherry blossoms again. It worked last time, right? Yeah, I guess it did.
Yahoo!
You'll do wonderfully. Get out there and kick his ass.
Metaphorically, with love. Will do. Thanks, Mai.
With a trembling smile, I headed for a classroom. Oh god. More cherry blossoms. It was starting to get late. Shane and I wouldn't be able to study together for long, but at least being up this late would ensure that we were alone together in the classroom. Alone. Again. With you. Together in the classroom. Ah! Alone. Together. Stop! Don't think about it too much.
Snap out of it, Hana. You have bigger things to worry about.
When I got to the classroom, Shane was already seated inside, face in his hands.
You're here.
Hey.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for helping me.
No problem.
I pulled out a chair opposite Shane and grabbed my math textbook, sharing the space on his desk.
So, page 112?
What?
What?
Didn't you need help with the problem on page 112?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I definitely need your help, yes.
Okay.
Was it just me or was Shane acting weird? I'm gonna go with weird. Shane's notebook was already open on his desk, so I pulled it towards me and examined his work.
That's weird.
What?
I mean, all of your work is right, but for some reason your answers are wrong.
Shane snatched his notebook out of my hand, shoving it into his bag. Forget about it, that's not important.
Didn't you need help?
No, I'm fine now. I hope she doesn't realize I botched those answers on purpose, oh god.
Awkward silence. Until nightfall.
An awkward tension built between us. Outside, the sun finally set, and night seeped into the loud emptiness of the room. I had to ask him at some point, didn't I? Maybe now would be a good time, but it was so awkward. I cleared my throat, taking a deep, deep breath.
Shane.
Shane,
Hey.
Do you want to hang out sometime?
What?
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 What? Were you going to say something? Forget about it. What were you going to say?
Hi. I was wondering if you want to go on a picnic with me.
A picnic?
Yeah.
Yeah, picnic. At the park. I have everything ready.
Impressive. Did you make the food already, too?
I was just gonna buy it this time, don't worry.
I'm not. I'm going to make the food.
You?
Yes.
He said himself.
Oh. Wait, now?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't think of joining me. If we store it well, it'll still be good tomorrow.
Are we going tomorrow? It doesn't have to be so soon.
I planned to do it that weekend, but now that it was actually happening, I found myself wanting to put it on the brakes. I don't want to psych myself out.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's do it tomorrow.
After school, then to the kitchens we go.
Right now?
Yes, right now. Let's go.
Okay.
As we stepped out into the night's velvet darkness, Shane finally seemed to realize the time. It's so late that there are lights that are on over the sidewalk. Oh, maybe we shouldn't do it today. Or tonight, rather. Tomorrow morning?
And then you want to do the day after the tournament?
Perfect.
Yay!
Perfect.
Why don't I walk you to your dorm, then?
You're a perfect gentleman.
As we shuffle across the sidewalk, wading through the slightly humid air, Shane suddenly grew quiet.
Hey!
Is something on your mind?
Well,
Can I bring my sketchbook to the picnic? Oh, right. I agreed to be Shane's model, didn't I? But surely he meant to draw the landscapes.
The park's a really pretty place to draw.
I mean, to draw you. There went that idea. I've been afraid to ask for a while.
Why's that?
Shane shrugged, one hand in his pocket. I thought you'd be uncomfortable. If you're not into it, I don't want to.
I mean, it helps me too in a way.
what?
Helps you?
Really shy, Shane. I wasn't always this shy. I mean, I've always been shy, but after last year, it just got out of control. Especially when I first came here.
It was weird to think about how hesitant and afraid I was in the beginning of the school year. I was desperate to fit in and belong, paranoid about my hair, absolutely sure that one wrong move would make everyone hate me. Especially Shane, since he had a problem with me from the start. But look where we're now. I remember.
Pushing myself like this helps me become less shy. Reminds me of what I was like when I was younger.
I didn't realize you liked it.
I wouldn't say I'd like it.
Oh,
But there are worse things in this world than being stared at for hours on end by you.
yeah, well, Baka. But at the picnic, would it be too weird to bring my sketchbook? It doesn't seem like it's exactly fun to you. Okay. So, let's observe these answers, because this one seems like it matters more than the previous question. Anyway, we could say,
Of course you can bring it.
and be done with that.
Only if you bring your old comics too.
That doesn't sound good, because bearing in mind that these are comics that are inspired by Shane's ex-girlfriend. Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. And,
You're right, don't bring it.
well, I think that would disappoint Shane. So we're gonna go say,
Of course you can bring it. I agreed to be your model a while ago. Not going back down now.
Yeah.
Great, I've been practicing. I want to see if I can improve what I've done of you.
I'd like to see too.
I want to start up my comic again. This is good practice. We reached the entrance to Primrose House, Shane kicking the ground aimlessly. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then, I guess.
Thank you for walking me home, Shane. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
And yeah. Me too, I guess. Anyway, I'll come cook with you tomorrow morning. Sound good?
Yeah.
Bye.
Great, bye. He turned on his heel and stalked back the way he came, heading for Bluebell House. I giggled as I watched him go. It seemed like wasn't the only shy one. I woke early the next morning and immediately got myself ready. Knowing Shane was such an early riser, I figured he would be right on time to pick me up. The knocking would seem to indicate so. And that was definitely the opening tune for like the Mario games, like the first one I think. Do 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 do. And I was right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shane.
Hello.
Morning.
You look exhausted. Did you sleep well at all?
I wanted to take care of the plants before we started cooking.
What?
Seriously? What time did you wake up?
4. Oh, God.
Shane?
That's fine. Ready to bake?
Yeah.
Well, of course I am.
I shut the door and together we head down to the kitchens, debating what on earth we should make for the picnic. We can't make only cookies. We need something of sustenance.
I'm not sure what you can really bake that would give us sustenance. A cake?
We entered the kitchen, which was completely empty as expected. Shane and I put on aprons, now about to get gunk on our incredibly expensive uniforms. Ah. How about tea sandwiches?
How British of you. That doesn't sound too bad. I want to do something to make it special, though. Something like...
Making our own bread! Immediately Shane folded his arms, eyeing me warily. Have you made bread before?
Well, no. That's what the cookbook is for, right?
Maybe.
All you need for rye bread is dry yeast, sugar, melted butter, 2 eggs, yeast, warm milk, salt, rye flour, bleach flour, vegetable oil, and caraway seeds.
As I read the list off, Shane pulled together the appropriate items, all but the last ingredient, which had us both puzzled.
You don't happen to know where these are, do you, Shane?
I pointed the words in the book. Shane stroked his chin. Caraway seeds? Hang on. Shane dove into a tall cupboard, pushing aside whatever sat in his way. Bags, chocolate chips, and nuts were pressed up against each other like sagging pillows. Flours and oils were shifted side to side, nearly playing out from their containers. Puffs of powder boomed out of the cupboard and painted the entire area around Shane talcum white. I closed my eyes as a cloud of flour hit me, dusting the words of the open cookbook, filling the air with its nothing smell. Shane peeped from the pantry cupboard and looked at my powdered face, presenting a tiny plastic shaker. Ta-da! Caraway seeds, they're smaller than I thought.
Oh, that for this little thing?
With the side of my hand, I slipped the flour resting on the cookbook pages and flung at Shane's forehead. The blast of white wind struck him in the face. He cringed, recoiled, shook around, all with a hint of a sneeze coming on.
You're overreacting, you turd. Look at the mess you've made.
Shane turned, surveying the hand and footprints he left in the flour. Whoops. It was such a dull response, but the solemnity in his voice made me think he was a truly sorry puppy. We worked together, Shane piled in the ingredients while I read him the instructions. We mixed the eggs, yeast, and flour. Eventually, the final product was placed into the oven. I blew it a kiss before shutting the door.
I suppose we should work at getting your mess cleaned up.
Clapped his hands together, once again basking in the air in a white smoke screen. I don't see why we should rush. I thought a single loaf of bread will suffice, so what else are we going to make?
We can make some more bread, or... Sorry.
I tried to keep myself from laughing, but it was impossible. I kept eyeing the flour makeup plastered over his face.
Nice to see you put your face on for this. Why don't we bring something sweet, too?
It didn't take long for us to decide on thumbprint cookies, a classic. We whipped up the ingredients we needed to make the cookies super quickly. Flour, baking powder, eggs, nothing out of the ordinary. A few minutes passed as we mixed the cookie batter, the smell of rye bread tickling our noses. It tickled our noses a lot, actually. Too much. We both knelt down to look into the oven window in an attempt to see how our bread was doing. Shane inched closer, his nose pressed up against the glass. I think it's done, isn't it?
The timer has gone off.
It could be broken, or maybe this oven is hotter than anticipated. We shouldn't let it bake too long. I stood and Shane looked up at me, waiting for my command. Frying oven mitt and grabbed a pot holder. Shane jumped up at my decision, snagged a pair of pot holders for himself, and gave me a reassuring nod. So I opened up the door, and the smell of heat and cooked caraway seeds belched out into the kitchen. We both took a huge breath, beaming at each other, then reached in for the pan. As I gripped it, I underestimated its length. I lifted it to the stovetop, my wrist tilted towards the pan. Hardly had time to react before Shane took the pan from my grip, rescuing me from a more serious burn.
Ouch! Thanks.
I bit my lip, trying not to betray the searing pain.
How does it look?
Shane set the pan on the rack furthest from me, glancing at it without even really seeing it.
Kind of flat, but it's probably fine. How's your hand?
Shane gingerly removed my oven mitt and examined my hand. I wiggled my fingers and smiled at him.
It stings a little bit, but I'm more upset because it looks like you caught me red-handed.
Shane closed his eyes. My grin grew even wider. A pun worthy of me. Despite his best efforts, a restrained chuckle smuggled its way out of him. You know... He grabbed my hand and wagged it in the direction of the oven. I can throw this thing back in there if you really want.
No!
No, that won't be necessary, I'm sorry.
I rinsed my hand under cold water. Shane examined the bread in the oven. Or, it was in the oven, but we took it out. Whatever.
Be honest, how's it look? ...
Shane glanced from the pan to the cookbook and back, repeatedly.
It looks flat. Really, really flat.
Hana. I dried my hands and went to his side.
All went wrong.
Cover and set aside in a warm, draughtless area that rise for up to 1 full hour.
That's why I messed up on the crumpets the first time. 6 nuts. God damn it! Shane walked over to some of the unused flour, plopped his hand into it, walked back over to me, and smacked me on the forehead.
Yeah.
We can still eat it, we'll just have really thin sandwich pieces. A smile slid over his face. I couldn't help but smile back. Come on, let's get those cookies laid out. With some cooperation, we emptied a glass bowl onto a wax-lined tray. We rolled the dough into balls, arranging them neatly on a sheet pan. When all the cookies were laid out, we took turns pressing our thumbs into the squishy balls to make wells for the jam.
Mine were so much smaller.
Using a spoon, we then filled the imprints of strawberry jam.
That should be good for the cookies. Can you work on getting the spot cleaned up?
I made sure to adjust the temperatures needed and double-check that there was nothing notably wrong with the oven. As I brought the cookie sheet to the stove, Shane started licking the wooden spoon clean of raw cookie dough. Not quite what I asked for, but good enough. As I watched, he scooped the remainder of the dough out of the bowl and plopped it into his mouth. I watched him eat about 5 cookies worth of dough. It was time to act.
Stop eating the dough, you pizza!
What?
What did you just call me? He stuck an entire raw cookie directly from the baking sheet into his mouth.
The term we use here to address people like you. You're a pizza. A pizza shit!
I bopped his cheek with a wooden spoon still covered in dough, and it splattered onto his face.
Now let's get these things in the oven.
We popped the cookie tray into the oven. As our last project baked, we finally cleaned the kitchen. We scrubbed dishes, bowls, silverware, wooden spoons, and everything in between. It stunk that we weren't able to watch cookies form, but Shane and I were reminded of what our labor was all for every time we passed in front of the oven. By the time the last dish was clean and squared away, the alarm dinged. Rushed over, put my pocket holder back on, and pulled out the cookies. They were perfect! Perfect shape, risen, and colored cookies filled the kitchen with their delectable scents. And this is going to be a recipe for a disaster. I'll see you guys in the next episode. In case you like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.